Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. All right. And shalom being peace. All right. Because that's what it takes. Of this thing of ours. All right. It takes a great deal of, more so, a peace of mind. All right. Because shit, we know what the deal is. We often talk about Jake. But we are Jake. We know, we are Jake. We are of Jacob. We're going through it. We know how it feels. All right, we know it's rough. We know it's tough. All right. But with that being said, man, there's like 100 precepts going through my mind right now. This is pretty much going to be another shit. What was that? But it's pretty much going to be another spiritual ram. All right. And pursuant to the title, what is the gospel? All right, what is the gospel? What is the good news? Because like I said, some, if not most Jakes, think that when they see brothers doing these epistles, and they see brothers out there on the highways and byways, that brothers ain't going through nothing, right? After brothers hit end record, right? Some, or if not most Jakes, they probably think that brothers just going to cloud somewhere, as if brothers ain't gotta deal with this bullshit. But it's quite the opposite. All right, it's quite the opposite. All right, brothers going through it. So make no mistake about it. Again, brothers are going through it. All right. But hey, that's again, man, with this thing of ours, before I ramble, I'm gonna get this. Lord willing, I'm gonna get this. Bear with me. Because the grand scheme of things, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he put us through this matrix to show us a lesson, to teach us a lesson. All right. As I mentioned in the video that I did just earlier, and this is something that I always pray about, man, the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that this, what we can see, is not the end all be all, man. The water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that this is not the end all be all. All right. This is merely just a pit stop along the way to the final destination. All right. This is not the final destination. but it's a pit stop to the final destination, towards the final destination. All right. And that's a part of the gospel. All right. That's a part of what the gospel, or the good news, that's a part of what this is. That this ain't it, Jake. This ain't it. The Wadi Habashimon shot, that this is not it. Because if it was, listen, we are all through. Whether these other nations know it or not, hell, they're even crying out, pursuant to the Romans, the 8th chapter. You know? Because not only are we crying out, Lord willing, we are of that number. Not only are we crying out for new rulership, a new management, just a new world, you know, just for everything to be refreshed. Not only are we crying out, but these nations, like I said, whether they know it or not, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, they're crying out for the sons, the manifestations of the sons of Yahweh Bashimah Shah to be, in not so many words, to be put back in power, to be set back up in power. All right, these other nations, they're crying out for that too. You see? But I'm gonna get this. In Luke chapter 14. Luke chapter 14. Because again, the Lord is teaching us a valuable lesson. All right. The world, you know, it's a stage of learning. All right. The current world that we're set up in right now. All right. The current setup that we're in right now. It's a stage of learning for the sons of Yahweh Shem Shah, for the princes. All right. The future rulers to come. It's a learning experience. Because as I often say, you know, we had it at one point. We had it. All right. We didn't appreciate it. We blew it. You know, everything was handed to us on a silver platter. And when everything is handed to you on a silver platter, listen, you don't appreciate nothing. All right. You don't truly value everything that's given to you. So this is the lesson that we are learning on a grand scheme of things, man. I can't say scheme, but the grand, you know, just the grand plot of Yahweh Shemal Shai. The sons of Yahweh Shemal Shai, those princes, they're learning to appreciate the process. They're learning to appreciate everything. Righteousness, they're learning to appreciate everything. All right. And how do you come to that point where you're just like, man, damn, you know, where, because again, on a spiritual level, you know, and this may take some thought to some of those, you know, it's gonna take some thinking, but listen, man, I know me personally, and the big bro Azaria from the camp, the second in command of the camp, you know, he made this statement a while ago, not too long ago, about how, you know, just, and I can't really express it or put it into words, but nevertheless, it's just like, and this just happened to me today. This is a part of what inspired me to do this video, was the fact that I was just walking, all right, I was just walking on the sidewalk, you know, minding my business and whatnot, and seeing these creatures, seeing these lizards, and, you know, oftentimes you know, you're walking or whatever the case may be, man, you see these bugs and creatures and whatnot, man, and naturally, for the most part, you don't want to step on the creatures. You don't want to kill, you don't want to end life, or whatever the case may be, however you want to put it. And that was the case with me earlier today. Like, I've seen all these little lizards and bugs, and I'm just like, man, y'all need to get out of the way, because I really don't want to, I don't want to step on nothing. I don't want to kill nothing or anything like that. And I say all that to say, because, again, on the grand plot of things, and this is something that I got from the Elder Kazaki Allah out there in Mississippi. All right. He made this statement a while ago about how it's personal when it comes to the elect. Not saying that I'm of the elect, Lord willing, I don't know. But when it comes to creation itself, it's personal. All right. It's personal, We see how things are going in this world, and just how nature's being destroyed, just society's being destroyed, everything's being destroyed, the air's polluted, so on and so forth. We see all these things, and it's personal. It's personal with the elect, because going back to the beginning, all right, Yahweh Shai and those 144,000 men, they were with Yahweh Shai in the beginning, creating all this, everything that we see, everything that we don't see. Well, listen, Yahweh Shai and those men, they were there, and they were creating this. They created all this, and it's like, if you put all your love, time, energy into something, and some boneheaded Negro, all right, and I'm referring to Esau Edom, because Esau, the so-called white man, at the end of the day, he is the original nigger. All right, he is the original Negro. And that's why, listen, we're not niggers. All right. At the end of the day, this is why you hear some of us refer to, we use the term so-called black, so-called Negroes. All right. Because who's the real nigger? It's Esau. It's the so-called white man. He's the original nigger, man. This nigger culture, sleeping with another man's wife, all right, killing a nigga and getting away with it, catching a body, murder, basically. All right, this whole destructive lifestyle. Listen, that whole culture comes from Esau. It comes from the so-called white man. The white man, all right, inside joke. Because again, Esau, he's the original black man. All right. If anything, as I've said, if anything, all right, so-called black people are the original white people, and so-called white people are the original niggas, man. This whole culture, nigger culture, and thug life, that shit originates from Esau, man. You see? But nevertheless, going back into it, Luke, I'm gonna read Luke chapter 14, verse 21. It says, so that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and maimed, and halt and the blind. So essentially, this is what this is about, because it's no coincidence, the Lord referred to us as the poor, all right, the needy, the fatherless, the widow, the widows. Who's that ultimately referring to? It's talking about so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians. All right. We don't have no one standing up for us, speaking on our behalf in these G summits, all these world meetings. We don't have no standing army. All right. We're defenseless, hopeless, like the scriptures say. We are but worms. All right. We don't have nothing. For the most part, these other nations, they have somewhere to go back to, some type of so-called homeland they can go back to. These Moabites here in Babylon, they can go back to Moab. The so-called Japanese, the Ammonites, they can go back to their lands and whatnot, so on and so forth. it's, again, for the most part, Jake, you know, we don't have you know, again, we're wanderers, we're pilgrims, Jake is searching, seeking. All right. And that's what this is about, man. Ultimately, because it's all a thing of predestination, you know, even 2/3. A lot of 2/3, man, they're seeking truth, seeking answers, but the Lord is just not dealing with them as of right now on this side. The Lord's not dealing with them. It's about the elect. And if you're of the elect, then hey, you're going to find everything that you've been looking for. All right. The Lord is going to lead you exactly where he wants you to be. All right. And you're going to be all right. But nevertheless, Jake is lacking. And because of that lack, all right, and it's better this way. Make no mistake about it. Like I said in the beginning, you know, Jake, man, we're just pilgrims simply passing through. Because the water Yahweh Bashimon shot that this is not it. This is not the end all be all, man. The water Yahweh Bashimon shot, this is not the end all be all. But nevertheless, it's better to be in this position of being lame, maimed, halt, blind. You know, being in this position where you need something, you need healing, you need deliverance, you need salvation. It's better this way. All right, it's better this way, man. You know, and that way, hey, we are going to hope in the Lord's salvation. We're going to put our hope in the Heavenly Father Yahweh, sending us his only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, and eventually we'll be delivered. We're going to be delivered out of this bullshit, man. Because again, that's the gospel. That's the good news. This ain't it, Jake. Like, damn, bro. Like, aren't you? I don't get it, but then again, I do get it. But then I don't get it, but then I do get it. You know, and it's just like, what's wrong with Jake? What is wrong with Jake, man? You know, aren't you? Because I remember I grew up in the generation. Listen, our parents, man, our parents and grandparents, they sent us outside. They didn't have to worry about us being kidnapped, you know, being hauled off in some white van to never be heard of again. Well, now, shit, you do. And it's like, aren't you tired of that shit, Jake? You know? Aren't you tired of that? You know? It's bad enough. It's bad enough. These Job 924s, man, they block out the sun. Jake can't get the minerals that they need naturally from the sun, from the environment, from the elements. That's bad enough in itself. You gotta, for the most part, keep your offspring cooped up in some 2-bedroom apartment. It's about 5-6 of y'all in some 2-bedroom apartment. You know, these little kids, you know, these children, they're not getting no type of vitamin D or exercise or anything. You know, and a part of that is in fear of, you know, we hear the stories, you know, such and such got kidnapped. All right. Again, I grew up in a generation where I grew up in a town where you would see the faces of these little children, you know, placed on the little milk boxes that we used to drink back in, you know, junior high and whatnot, elementary school, junior high, you know. You see, well, listen, that's more and more of a reality, man, nowadays, man, in this society, in this setup. Well, aren't you Jake's tired of that shit? Listen, the time is going to come. Our children, our seed, they're going to be playing with cockatrices, all right, poisonous snakes and whatnot. Don't you want to be able to just send your offspring out the palaces, send them off to different galaxies? Yes, I said that right. Different galaxies, worlds, without worrying about the so-called white man. You know, just you know, we know the we know, all right. You know, we know the atrocities that go on, man. But the point being, aren't you Jake's tired of that shit? Don't you want to be able to send your sons and your daughters off to just explore new galaxies and play with poisonous snakes and dragons and just not have that worry? See, that's the thing with this society, man. You know, Jake, from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep, it's just nothing but worry, panic, stress, bills, this, that, bullshit, left and right, non-stop. Aren't you tired of that shit? I know I am. I know I'm tired, bro. Jake is tired of this shit. And it's like, what's wrong with 2/3, man? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired, bro? But this is only for a select few. And to those that have the same like mind, well, this is the gospel. All right, this is the good news. Not long. As I always say, the million dollar question. How long? Well, listen, not long. All right. Not long, Jake. Not long, bro. Brothers and sisters, man. Akim and Akwaf. All right. Not long. Not long, man. You know, tired of this shit, man. Something's got to give. Speaking humbly, man. You know, Yahweh Shema Shai. We all get this feeling like, Lord, if you don't do something, listen, Lord, if you don't do something, we all get that feeling. We all get that feeling, man. You know, but aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of this shit? Aren't you tired, man? You know? Don't you just want to wake up? Don't you just want to breathe real air? You know? Don't you want to don't you want to be able to taste colors? And it sounds crazy, but listen. I'm just speaking expressly through the spirit. Like, don't you want to taste colors? You want to be we see colors. But that's the thing with the kingdom, because you know everything in this society, man, is dead. All right. You know, something that always stuck out to me, even before I woke up to the truth. You know, when you go to Walmart, Publix, or whatever, you know, shopping plaza, right? Whatever store, and the doors will automatically open up. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. You know. Meanwhile, in this kingdom, everything is dead. You see, everything in the kingdom is going to be life. You know, everything's going to be life, lifelike, vivid. Versus this kingdom, Esau's kingdom, in this world, you got to open the door for yourself, right? Everything is dead, but in the kingdom, everything's going to be life, lifelike, vivid. You know, and that's just how I always picture things, you know, in the kingdom, you know, like in this society, like I just said. And you go to the grocery store, certain grocery stores, whatever, supermarkets, or whatever, you walk up to the door, the doors will automatically open. That's how it's supposed to be. Everything's supposed to be alive and livid and, you know, vivid. So like I was just saying, aren't you ready to speak and express it through the spirit? Aren't you ready to see colors? Aren't you ready to taste the minerals in the air, breathe, and aren't you ready for these things? Have real women? Are we ready to be able to actually enjoy our children? Like I was saying, not having to worry about sending our seed off and having to worry about, you know, you best believe, man. And I just say this, I say this jokingly, all right? If you believe that for a second, we're gonna, you know, there's gonna be some type of white vans, you know, Israelite children are gonna be kidnapped in the kingdom. Listen, you better take your ass over there with Sakari, all right? Because supposedly they believe that after 1,000 years, and you know, Yahweh Shai is going to come back on the cross and die for the sons of the nation of Israel again, and whatever the case may be. No, man. All right. But that's another topic for another time as far as that 1,000 years, man. But nevertheless, aren't you tired of this shit? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, men and women, aren't you tired of this shit? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired, man? Aren't you ready for something far more greater than what we can see? You know, aren't you ready for the far-fetched? Because that when it comes down to it, that's going to be the kingdom. The kingdom is going to be far-fetched. And to again, in reference, matter of fact, let me get it, because this is the second time I referenced it, but let's go ahead and get this in Romans chapter 8. Because real soon, listen, all this shit, this bullshit, man. Matter of fact, before I get that, let me get this. Because this is just the spirit that Yahweh Bashim Shai has on his elect. All right. Same chapter, Romans chapter 8. But I'm gonna read verse 37 real quick. Yeah, Romans 8 and 37. It says, "Nay, in all things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us." And you see, that's just the attitude that we have to have. All right. As I mentioned in the law that I did earlier, the more and more we're kingdom minded, the more and more we set our affection on things above, the more and more all this bullshit, it becomes minute. It becomes small. It becomes little. The more and more it becomes meaningless. This shit doesn't mean anything to us. You know? Because by nature, Jake is conquerors, man. By nature. We like to conquer shit. And that's a part of the oppression. You know, man, I remember doing a video maybe last week about how, listen, because, you know, Jake, in this society, in this kingdom, under Esau's rulership, Jake, man, a lot of brothers be having to just really just hold back and just, especially when it comes to the people of this world and just the vibration and the energy of this world, Jake really has to do a lot of just holding back. You know, a lot of brothers have to dumb themselves down just to so-called somewhat fit in, and just not look like some type of maniac or terrorist or whatever, man. Jake has to do a lot of that in this kingdom, but in the kingdom, listen, men are going to be able to be men. We're going to be able to be men. All right. Brothers are going to really be able to be themselves. Aren't you ready for that shit? Gotta hold ourselves back, dumb ourselves down for these peons, man. These people don't mean, man, these people are simpletons. You know? I'm tired of holding back for these people, man. And as much as a lot of us want to get that spiritual power in, as of lately, I'm just speaking for myself. All right, because as of lately, I've been in the spirit like, man, I don't want the power. And that's going to sound crazy to a lot of brothers. It's going to sound crazy because we all want that power. But listen, well, I'll say it like this. I'll rephrase it. Brothers want that power now. All right. But listen, it takes a lot of maturing and understanding to get to that point where it's just like, listen, I don't want the power right now, man. Because I know for sure, for a fact, if the Lord gave me that power right now, man, I'm going to fuck shit up. Jeremiah 16:16 is going to come a lot sooner. I don't want the power right now. I don't want it. All right. I don't want the power right now, man. I really don't. You know, I don't want the power right now. I'm going to fuck shit up out here, man. I'm tired. And I want to fuck shit up. And it, you know, that's the thing, man. It shouldn't be like this. That's the part of the gospel. That's the part of the good news. All right. You know, that a lot of that built-in frustration and tension that brothers be feeling, you know, in their day-to-day walk, man, listen, because we are in an unnatural environment. This is not natural to the Israelite, man and woman. This is not natural. It's not natural. You know, it really isn't. This is an unnatural habitation for the Israelite, man and woman. You know, well, don't you, Jakes? That's the point. Like, don't you, Jakes? Don't you want to be in your natural habitat where you could just be yourself? Like I said, enjoy your woman, enjoy your children. Aren't you ready for that? That's a part of this gospel. That's a part of the good news. Is, hey, it's coming soon. It's coming. All right. Then this is the last time that an Israelite man or woman, for that matter, is going to be in this predicament. Is going to be in this situation, man. This is the last time we got to go through this shit. Because, hey, 7 captivities, listen, 7 being completion, listen, that's, hey, and that's why the spirit is on the elect. Like, man, Lord, we get it. All right, we're done. We're tired. Slakia, you know, and we want to go home. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get 2 precepts. Lord willing. I'm going to get this. That's a part of this gospel. That's a part of the good news. All right. Is after this, no more. All right. No more. Because, yeah, the Lord, you know, again, well, let me read this. Isaiah 63:18. The people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while. Our adversaries have trodden down thy sanctuary. We are thine. Thou never bearest wool over them. They were not called by thy name. So, because again, man, you know, it's just like, and this is a common thing that you get with our people. Like, when you try to tell Jake, like, yeah, we are the people of Yahweh Shema Shah. We are his holy chosen people. And, you know, rightfully so, you know, they have this attitude like, well, damn, if we are those people, then look at our condition. It's like, how? Ain't no way. Right? But you gotta understand, we're the ones that messed up. All right. So because we messed up, listen, the Lord, he cast us off, rightfully so. All right. The sanctuary of Yahweh Shema Shah has been trodden. Right? But this is the part of the good news. This is the part of the gospel. Listen, I'm gonna get another one. What's that? Lamentations chapter 2. And this whole chapter is pretty bad, man. This whole chapter is bad because it's like, man, we really fucked up. We fucked up, and we fucked up bad, man. And as I mentioned in the video, the live that I did earlier, like, as much as these fake and phony Christians want to include everyone in this thing of ours as far as salvation, listen, the mind of the Heavenly Father doesn't change. All right. Yes, we did go off. But no, that doesn't mean that did not pave the way for all these other nations to be saved. But if the Lord wanted to do so, he would have been justified in doing so. He would have been justified in saying, man, the hell with these people. Everyone's accepted now. He would have been justified in doing so. But we know the Lord, he didn't change his mind. He still feels the same way that he feels about his people. All right. So I'm going to get this in Lamentations 2:1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion? All right. Again, you know, because when it comes to the daughter of Zion and the daughters of Zion, you know, the daughters of Zion, it refers to the actual women, but oftentimes in the scriptures, when it refers to the daughter of Zion, it's talking about the men. So to the hopefully elect brothers, listen, we fucked up. And I did another lesson a few weeks ago going into how, listen, because it's heavy. The judges of the city, once the judges of the city get overtaken, overrun, corrupted and whatnot, the whole city gets overrun. All right. Judgment comes upon the whole city. And that's essentially what took place with those elect men. All right. Those elect men, all right, being those judges, the Alahayim, the powers, the judges, they got corrupted. All right. Which was all the grand scheme of Yahweh Salak. I keep saying scheme. That's Etol. But the matter of fact, real quick, I'm going to go back to Jeremiah. That's the spirit. I'm going to go back to Jeremiah. I'm sorry, Isaiah. I'm going to go back to Isaiah. Isaiah 63 and 17. Because I just read verses 18 and 19. But I'm going to read Isaiah 63 and 17. It says, O Lord, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, and harden our heart from thy fear? Why? Because the Lord, again, he had to teach us a valuable lesson. As I mentioned in the beginning, we had it, we blew it. All right, now we're seeing the consequences. And once we get reestablished back in power, listen. We are going to appreciate it that much more. All right, we are going to appreciate righteousness that much more. So going back to the whole grand plot of Yahweh Shema Shah, listen. Yes, he caused us to go off, but it was for a much greater purpose. All right. The Lord is teaching us a valuable lesson. And listen, the elect, whoever they are, they get it. Hopefully, elect, listen, we understand, like, all right. All right. We get it. We fucked up, and we fucked up bad. We blew it 144 times over, man. We blew it, but we're here now. And as I mentioned before, like, hey, because this is vice versa. All right. When you're at the top, the only way from there is to the bottom. And Esau, he's at the top. He's at his pinnacle. So the only way from there for Esau is down. All right. And vice versa. Listen, when you're at the bottom, the only way up, and I just said it through the spirit, the only way from there, when you're down, when you're at the bottom, the only way from there is up. All right. And the nation of Israel is on its way up, starting with those elect men. That's the only way. All right. But it says, return for thy servant's sake the tribes of thine inheritance. You see? And that's what, we are currently in that process, man, because again, it seems like, yes, the Lord, he's forsaken us. All right. It's like, damn, But again, the Lord is teaching us a valuable lesson. And this is all a part of the gospel. This is all part of the good news. All right. Like, essentially, come home. All right. Yes, you went off. All right. I've dealt with you as sons and daughters. You dealt with your chastenings, your chastisements. I whoop your ass, but come home. This is the gospel, essentially. Come home. All right. I'm gonna get that since I'm in Lamentation. Before I jump the gun, I'm gonna go back to Lamentations 2:1. How had the Lord covered that the daughter of Zion with the cloud of his anger? Talk about the men, because those judges fell. All right, and like the scriptures say, they're likened Jerusalem unto a people before it's a place. So because of the judges fell, hey, listen, the whole city was overrun, right? It says, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. All right, and listen, we are in our hell. We were cast down from our heaven, from our leadership position, rulership position. And like it tells you in Luke, Salakia, Isaiah 14. All right, Esau, he's in his heaven, and we are in our hell. All right, Esau, he's in his rulership. All right, he's in his rulership. This is his time to play. You see? And we are in our hell. All right, but this is the gospel. This is the good news. Hey, it's not gonna be like this for too much longer, brothers and sisters, man. It's not gonna be like this for too much longer. Soon. All right. Because again, it does seem like the Lord just completely cast us off and done away with us, but soon, man. No, this is the gospel. This is the good news. No, I'm not completely done away with you, my sons and my daughters. I'm not completely done with you. Yes, I put you through this to teach you a valuable lesson, but hey, You served your captivity. Now it's time to come home. All right. Because listen, you know, Jake, man, you know, and this is how we know, because through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, the prophets, all right, giving that insight on how the Heavenly Father feels. Listen, brothers are tired, all right. You know, you hear certain, you know, you hear brothers talk the way that they do, but it's really Yahweh Shem Shai speaking through brothers, man. Because listen, brothers are tired, brothers are fed up, brothers are fucking, you know, just, we know that feeling we all get. It may be different for all of us, but you know, essentially it's Yahweh Shem Shai. So if we feel the way that we feel, how much more than Yahweh Shem Shai? If we're tired, frustrated, fed up, how much more Yahweh Shem Shai? You know? But I've talked on it long enough. I'm going to go ahead and get this ended off, because this is essentially the gospel, the good news. All right, Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. You see, because as I just read in Lamentations 2, the daughter of Zion, talk about brothers, you know, the men, first and foremost, you know, those judges, those powers that were with Yahweh Shai, you know, and that's why I said earlier, like, man, listen, you know, it's even more personal. It hits home more with the elect brothers, whoever they are, because, you know, look at this shit. You know, the whole time I've been doing this live, you know, you see the bushes and whatnot, the grass and whatnot. This shit is supposed to be alive. All this shit is supposed to be vibrant. We're supposed to be able to see colors, feel, taste, you know, but all this shit is dead. You know, all this shit is dead, man. But that's Esau's kingdom. You know, and like I said before, like, you know, you spend 5 hours building a beautiful sandcastle at the beach, and some boneheaded Negro all of a sudden just knocks down your shit that you took, so you put your blood, sweat, and tears into. That's going to make you feel some type of way. But that's likewise the elect, Yahweh Shai and those elect. All right, they put their, so to say, blood, sweat, and tears into creating all this, creating creation. And look what, that's why, going back to what I was mentioning with Esau, that 1,000-year period. Listen, Esau, he's been in power what, since the Greeks, if I'm not mistaken, or not even that, before that, you know, 500 years roughly, right? Well, listen, that 1,000 years with our first day in the kingdom, all right, because the scriptures talk about double, render double unto him, you know, because all those roughly 500 years, what took Esau to you know, this mess that he's created, is going to take 1,000 years to undo all this madness that he's done. You know, to undo all this madness that he's done, man. You know, so there's gonna be some work in the kingdom, man. You know, but Lamentations 4:21 again. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that thou dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. And this is a point, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So as I just read in Lamentation 2, all right, daughter of Zion. And essentially all the nation of Israel, you know, eventually, but it starts with, again, those powers that were with Yahweh Shai in the beginning. Listen, this is essentially the gospel. This is essentially the good news. We paid for our sins. Well, Slakia, Yahweh Shai, he covered the sins of the elect of the nation of Israel. He covered our sins. Lord, when we are that number. And this is the last time we got to go through this bullshit. This is the last time. That's essentially the gospel, the good news. Yeah, Jake got to wake up, you know, work these bullshit ass jobs, like the scriptures talk about. You know, you put our money in bags with holes in it, roughly paraphrasing, so on and so forth. You know, Jake has all type of worries and stress and, you know, just all type of shit that Jake got to deal with. But this is essentially the gospel and the good news, that this is not it. This is not the end all be all. This is not the final destination, and it's over. And after this, pursuant to 2 Esdras 6:9, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. So this is essentially the gospel. This is essentially the good news, all right? This is the last time. No more after this bullshit, man. No more. And like I says, reading on, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Because, hey, you got to give it to these, man. You got to give it to these, Job 9:24s. You got to give it to him. The Lord set him up for a specific purpose, and he served his purpose to a T perfectly. But hey, part of the gospel, a part of this good news, he's going to have to pay for what he did, man. All right? He has to pay for what he did. Yes, and that's the thing, because we pay for our crimes. We pay for our iniquities, and the Lord loved us. Well, how much more these devils? These devils think they're just going to ride off into the sunset. Look what the Lord did to us, and he loved us. He loves us, because, I said that wrong. The Lord loved us. No, that's speaking in past tense. No, the Lord loves us. He still loves us, but he just had to teach us a valuable lesson. But that's a part of this gospel, good news. All right, hey, this is the last bullshit ass captivity. This is the last time, after this, brothers gonna be waking up to these goddamn bullshit alarm clocks, 5, 6, 7. Jake got about 3, 4, 5 alarm clocks. They gotta, wake up and shit. Man, this is the last time I gotta go through this shit, man. All right. And not only that, Esau, he's gonna have to pay for what he did. All right. So this is essentially the gospel and essentially the good news. Lord wanted this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Baba Ball. Fuck this place, man.